Good. And Joan's got a question. She says, howdy, Father Elliot from Nacogdoches. Good to have you, Joan. She said, sounds silly, but would it be true to say that whatever happens to us, regardless of what we do, good or bad, and the results of this is either good or bad, is God's will? Do you make sense? Yeah. So it's slightly complex. God's will is a very difficult thing to wrap our minds around. So God never desires sin. Right? So he never wants us to make the evil choice of sin. However, he respects us enough, and that gift of free will that he gave to us, that he does not stop us from being able to exercise our free will, even if that means using it to sin. However, he does allow, so it's what's called his passive or permissive will, in the sense that he allows things to happen that can sometimes even be bad, right? So obviously we, as fallen human beings, we're well aware that we can sin, and we work against that, but God still allows us to do that and to fall into sin, and for evil effects to come from that. And those evil effects happen in our life, but God brings a greater good out of every evil. And so in the midst of the evil and the difficulties and the sadness that we can suffer, God chooses to bring a greater good. And that's difficult to see sometimes. It's a very mysterious thing that we believe. However, we are certain that whatever evil we suffer, God brings a greater good out of that. And so in a certain sense, yes, with the exception of sin. God never desires sin. He simply desires to respect our free will, which unfortunately sometimes we use to sin.